because of how I grew up and feeling that none of these things that I've been able to do were possibilities when I started. You just gotta be able to put as much, passion into it, like things will happen. What's up guys, this is Tainy and you're watching Billboard News.
Hey, what's up? It's Tetris with Billboard News, hanging out with the one, the only Tainy. What's up, my man?
How's it going, man? All good here?
Thanks for making your way over from Miami to LA to hang out with us. You've had a interesting few months right now.
It's been. I'm happy to be here, but yeah, how you say, like it's been a really fun, exciting, different couple of months leading up to this. So, happy over here.
Well, the Grammys were a big deal for you this year. Your first ever American Grammy nomination, so that's significant. Tell me how that felt.
I mean, it's special. I've been working for a while, in music. You always see the Grammys like that's like the stamp, and to like be considered, to be alongside so many amazing artists and me putting out my first album per se and have it be, recognized over here. In certain ways, you expect that what you do would be, impactful and, people will notice it, but it's not like a done deal. Like you gotta put it out and just expect and see what the world and the universe, reacts to it. And just to see that nomination over there and for it to be also my first time to be just nominated, have my name around there, it's just amazing.
I think that's what is so special about it is because, you're so known as such a prolific producer, but then your very first album as an artist gets a Grammy. Like, that doesn't happen to everybody, man.
I mean, there's not much, I can say. I'm just super grateful, to the Academy for every fan, every, artist or, person that makes music to just notice it and feel like it deserves to be there, that's the biggest, praise in the world, because these are people that do this for a living, that have been making amazing music, been listening to amazing music. So for it to just be around, I think it has something to say, and that makes me feel grateful, even though, winning and losing, it doesn't matter. I think just to be around, that quality of amazing artistry, I think that's a special thing for me.
You've been in the game for a while. You've worked with some of the biggest names, from Bad Bunny, Selena Gomez, Balvin, all this stuff. Do you feel like an American Grammy nomination was overdue?
The thing is, since it's my first project, I think you can't really say because I didn't have albums to be nominated, but I think, there's the other side, of being a producer to be around this side. So I can't say overdue, at least over here, because, it's just so new. To me, it's something that growing up in Puerto Rico, it wasn't in the goals, in our minds of the things that we could accomplish as kids, growing up in Latin America. Just seeing the American Grammys seems so far-fetched. Just to see it happen, I think that's the craziest thing to me. I think maybe when you think about maybe on the Latin side, there's where you kind of see you've been doing this for years or doing these kind of things, and sometimes you feel you reach the level to be considered and stuff. But over here, I think it's just something that wasn't even in my mind, and for it to happen, I think it's not easy to digest and understand, at the moment. But I'm grateful to be around, all these people that I admired or inspired me in a certain way. So, it's just a new realm. I think now that it started, now I start to feel that way maybe going forward.
More pressure.
Yeah, but I think for now, I'm just grateful that, the idea of it happening even exists.
You were nominated for Best Musical Urbana Album for Dada. Now let's talk about the album. I like that you said growing up you didn't see that even as a possibility. That's a very personal thing to say. So do you feel like this album is personal? What inspired the project?
I mean, it is. I think that's the main point. It's super personal for me because when I started doing music, the people that I admired, growing up, that's what they used to do. The producers in Puerto Rico, that's how music was made. The artists did their albums, but you know, the main deal and the thing that you wanted to like look forward is when the producers, who at that time, you know, you had the Looney Tunes, you had D.A. Nelson, all of these amazing producers will do their album, and every artist would just hop on it and just try and do the best track possible. It's something that, to me, as soon as I, you know, became a fan of music and beats and the idea of being a producer, that just inspired me so much. But you know, I come into the game, I start working, I start like getting opportunities and working with these artists. And as you know, the genre evolved, those albums didn't happen anymore. Like music changed so much. So it started to feel like it's something that I always wanted to do because that's like what inspired me when I started. But then I started to feel like it's not gonna be possible anymore because artists aren't in that, you know, idea of like just doing one track for a producer's album, or labels are not in that idea because it's not or profitable.
It's a different time, yeah.
It looked really difficult. So for me to start like working on this journey that we've been, like me and the team and Neon, and see, you know, where we've grown, I feel like this is something that I wanted to do for me. Even though like if it comes out and it flops and it doesn't do anything, I just want to be able to say like the day that I stopped like doing music, I was able to do my version of what those albums did to me.
Well, see, now I feel like this is going to be a hard question for you the way you're talking about your album, but what would you say is your favorite track, the strongest song on Dada?
I mean, that's a real tough one, because now I understand, like I've always seen artists talking about their albums, and when they get asked this question, it's kind of like you're talking about their babies, like
exactly.
No one's like more special than the other. But I think if I could get one, because it was so special because it was the first one and it represented like everything else that came after, would be Lo Siento Bebé with Bad Bunny and Julieta Venegas. It created the stamp of like what I envisioned it to be, to see two people from two separate genres that I admire so much. But I probably thought that I would never be able to work with Julieta Venegas because I'm a reggaeton producer. I come from a reggaeton background. Like, I know there's a lot of people for a lot of time that consider that music, or you know, maybe it's not at the high standard of maybe what she used to do in, you know, alternative, more pop, folk music. To be able to have this idea nowadays and see that, you know, melodically there's certain things that I probably absorb from her music and listening to other types of genres, and seeing how I can like mold these different genres and ideas, and see that, you know, we're in a point where I can like reach out and just like hope for the best and see what happens, and see that she was so open and happy about like me thinking about her, and feeling so excited to start writing and come up with the perfect, you know, part for the song from the get-go, and seeing that when I show it to Bad Bunny, he didn't have any idea that I was like plotting all
You had already had this plan going.
I had this stuff, but I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't stressed about it, because at first I had it as, you know, the song going completely and then ending, connecting with the next track, being kind of like an interlude, and have Julieta do like her version of what he had already done in the track. And when he heard it, it's like, nah man, that's going like in the beginning of the track. That made me so happy, and to see that, you know, I could do something that I thought wasn't possible, be possible, and have people accept it and feel good about it and understand the feeling and the emotion from both sides.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear like your creative process and kind of how you go through creating a song like that. And let's talk about the globalization of like Tainy, of Latin music. Like everything's so global now. You're a big producer, artist, Grammy nominated. What's the next level? What's the step? Where are you going from here?
Just to see how global it is, it's still mind-blowing to this day. I know it's been a couple of years where we've seen the growth of, you know, Latin music, and the urban genre has been able to grow and reach. You see with technology, like how people can be more connected and aware of whatever is happening in the other side of the globe. I think that's something that's a big thing that I always felt like when people ask me or think about like why is reggaeton like so like contagious and like popping, you know, at the moment. To me, it's like I always felt like if you gave a chance to hear the rhythm and the sound that it has, it just gives you a different vibe. Like you can put that in any party, in any place of the world, and it just has a groove that you just feel good about it. So it has this infectious, you know, sound to it. And it was just a matter of time for people to give it a chance to like listen to it, the right artists to come along the way to like give it that more global sound. Or for me, I'm just happy to be a part of one of the guys that's been in the mix to get it to this point, and I'm super grateful of seeing that and seeing all the doors that it opened for me, because I did start as a reggaeton producer, but I've always been a fan of music from day one. So there's a lot of genres, a lot of like artists and styles that I would love to do that didn't get a chance initially with some of the artists that I was able to work with. But to see, you know, the success that certain song has, you know, have had, and open doors for me to go into rooms and new places of people that I've always felt that I could if I got the chance. And seeing artists like Selena Gomez give me a chance and do a really cool song, and from there on, you know, see the Dua Lipas, the Biebers, all these amazing artists, Cardi, the Shawn Mendes.
It was the summer of love.
I always thought that if I got the chance, I could like do good or bring something different to the table, and seeing that it happened, and it was possible. So for me, I just want to keep building on that, keep challenging myself. I think I'm still growing. I'm still you know, a student of what I do, of music, and there's a lot of things that I want to like keep on tapping and trying, just giving myself a shot.
Well,
to
now
see
you've got me curious. You talk about all the genres you haven't tried. I would love to see where you go with music. And you were talking about your collaboration, so I kind of want to touch on that. You've worked with some incredible artists. Like for Selena, it was her first time kind of doing a full Spanish language project.
For me, it was so special for have her trust me and the team, you know, to do it because of that, because it was really meaningful for her just to do something so groundbreaking and different in her career, and for her as an artist to be able to do that on that stage that she's in. That to me just said a lot and put a lot of pressure on me, because, you know, now you want to represent and do what's best for whatever she wants to transmit, you know, lyrically and emotionally through music, but at the same time have those, you know, little essence, that essence that she felt, that she heard from, you know, being inspired through the music that's been coming out. So just to have a chance to work with, you know, that caliber of amazing artists, and at the same time this different approach of like seeing what she would sound like in this new arena, I think was really cool. And it helped me grow as a producer too, you know, to be able to like be in charge or around like some of the decisions and the trust that they had, you know, in me. I'm super excited to see if, you know, we get a chance to do a couple more of those. I mean, just bring a different approach, because I think that's the cool part of music today is it's so unexpected, the things that you can do, because now you can mix so many different things and still feel cool, still feel different but authentic in a certain way. So I just want to be a part of like more of those things.
Well, you were talking about like the new generation. So who's an artist that you think we should have our eyes on?
There's a girl called Right Now that's sick, and to be impressed or like to like feel a connection with someone that's new is special for me. Like I try to like really dig into that, because it doesn't really happen like often, because so many music coming out and you just kind of can get lost, you know, in the shuffle doing music. And to see people that just catch your ear from the get-go, I think it's something that I always want to like, as soon as that happens, I'll reach out or like try to do something, because it makes me feel excited of like the possibilities of what that could sound like, or inspired by this new sound or new approach. And she has that, she has a different tone, a different style, and an approach as a, you know, as a female artist in the urban genre that's we've seen a lot more happening, which I think is super cool. That, you know, in the early days there wasn't that much of a female presence in the genre. So to see her approach to me is cool. Like, it's always the young kids like Chris Floyd, like Davey. It's another kid from Puerto Rico, Young Chimmy. Like, there's so many cool kids that are doing like amazing music in the urban genre, but totally different styles. So that to me is like exciting, because I think
sounds like something that a producer could get a group together and do something really collaborative. That's really interesting.
Good idea.
And I do want to lastly touch on kind of like your collaborative effort with the community and the support you get from the community, like with the Choliseo. So how was it to like have everybody's support to get Bad Bunny involved and put that show together?
All right, it was crazy. I mean, just to start, like the idea of me being on a stage is something that I never thought I would do, but you know, opportunities kept coming, and you know, the team also kept seeing like the vision that I probably didn't see, you know, at the beginning, but gave it a chance because I understood them, and I know like if they're seeing something, like it's because there's something there. But I just wanted it to make it, if we do it, we gotta make it special. We gotta make it like something that feels that we're bringing something different. So we've been doing the festivals and, you know, here and there, really selective, but the idea of the Choli in Puerto Rico was always there, but it's something that, to be completely honest, I didn't think it was as possible because, again, it's something that we don't see normally, and producer doing the best, you know, arena in the island that I grew up in. So it just seemed like kind of like far to have it, you know, become something special. But, you know, doing the album, seeing everything that's happening, like the ideas starting to like come up again, and the approach just came, and it was like they feel like we can do it, so we just gave it a go. But we only had like, I don't know, like 2 months to make this.
You planned that in 2 months?
Yeah.
That's
so
wild.
You can imagine how crazy those 2 months were. Because I'm also like, and not just me, the whole team, like we're pretty perfectionist and picky with the things that we do. So if we do, I wanted to make it something special that it would feel different from you seeing an artist do their show, and see what would be my approach as a producer into how I do, how do I see visually my music, how it be the dynamic. Like I've done the festival, but this is like a 2-hour, like me on stage every time. Like you gotta keep it interesting, you gotta give something exciting and different. So it was a really cool experience to just like think about all of that, but at the same time now you gotta think of it actually happening, how people are gonna like receive it, because I know they like saw the announcement, but they don't know exactly what to expect. But at the same time, my career is my first time performing in the place that I grew up in. So to me, it was really meaningful and special to be able to show where this all started and go a little bit like showing a little bit of how that journey started, how it became what it is with the album and where it's at. So to have all those different generations and different things as a storyline, you know, throughout the show, and then have the support of all the artists that came through, which was crazy to me.
Well, it sounds like to me you got to do it again, my friend.
Hey, man. It was amazing, but it was tough to like make it be what it was and how special it became. It took a lot of effort, but I'm so grateful. It was one of the best nights, you know, of my life.
Well, I think what I have learned from my conversation with you today is that you need to always believe in yourself, because almost everything you said, from producing to your album to the show, you're like, I didn't think it was possible.
And that's something that I like when they ask me, well, what could I say to the, you know, new generation or the kids that look up to you or want to do music. That's it. Like practice and, you know, perfect your craft as much as possible, because opportunities are out there. I won't say like everybody has the opportunities and they just didn't work enough, or like everybody's circumstances are different. But I believe if you believe it in your head and, you know, in your heart, like I think the universe like listens to that and the energies are out there. That's the best thing that I could like say to them. Just believe in themselves and try as hard as they can.
I love that, man. Well, believe in yourself and you too can be like Tainy. Thanks for coming to Billboard, man.
Thank you, my man. Always great seeing you, brother.
Of course.